get showcased.
Welcome everybody to another live edition of the Showcase Pod. I am Don Vega, and this is the boss Chris Blackheart, and we're back again in the studios. We're not in the car. It's not dark out.
Back on time.
Back on time. There's no fireworks going off. Nope. Back in the 1776 studios, and yes, Danny is back from his train ride.
Danny, you look a little different.
What? He's still sleepy over the train ride? Or?
Yeah, no. We should have road stories with Dan Badandi later on. He can tell us all about his glorious trip.
All about the
24 hours.
The trials and tribulations of a train ride. Was it a train ride from hell or?
No, it wasn't bad.
Well, let's get into it now. Everybody wants to know, right? Danny, how short was your 24-hour train ride?
Oh, it sucked. I mean, there's a lot of room in there and everything, but I mean, like they keep stopping at every station and people getting on and off, and it's just can't sleep in there.
You had any questionable passengers in the train, or?
I didn't see any, man. I just try to sleep most of the time, and I
trying to book some questionable people, but
yeah.
I mean, if he would have stood in one of those stops in New York City, he would have definitely saw a lot of questionable.
So where'd you go? You went from
Providence to Boston, Rochester, then Rochester to Chicago, then to down to South Bend, Indiana.
That's why he went up to upstate. That
if
he would have stopped through like the city, he would have definitely seen some cases. But yeah, I mean, I thought he'd never make it back.
I did. Poor Charlie and the MTA.
Yeah.
I sent that song to everybody when.
It was a fun trip, though. We met a lot of cool people and everything, and a lot of wrestling, too. It was pretty awesome.
All right.
And he was a double champion.
Triple
champion.
Yeah. For 24 hours, just like the train ride.
Yeah, what was longer, your title reign or the train ride?
Oh, the train ride.
So you did come back. You won a title. You lost a title. And then you came back.
Yeah, first match was my 2 U.S. titles against him, and I won all 3. Then second match, he won all 3. Then the third match was a double pin, so by default, they awarded me my U.S. titles back and him his world title.
All right. You want to give any shout-outs and plugs where they can find them for anything out in Indiana?
Yeah, Dr. Funk with Slammin' Time Pro Wrestling. You type it in up on Facebook, whatever. Slammin' Time Pro Wrestling, Dr. Funk, and good guy, man. He's got a heart of gold like you, man. We had a good time though. We had a potluck after that. It was cool because over there they have the wrestling shows, and they have a big potluck dinner. And everybody like brings some food and everything else, and like a little buffet. And
Nope.
Let's not do. Hold on.
You know what that's reminding me of?
What?
You know.
Let's not have
Mr. Biggs.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
Well, let's not have gimmick infringement. He does have a black heart. That other gimmick, the heart of gold, might be trademarked.
No, we won't be having any buffets
You
because
just never know.
As I loved your uncle, Mr. Biggs, Mike Biggs,
cousin.
But I wouldn't. I'm not having potato salad on 9 degrees in Clinton, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Why not? You don't like potato salad?
I do not like potato salad, especially at 9 degrees.
Oh well, I'm a little bit questionable about white food items. Like,
I thought you were just gonna stop at white.
No, white food items that are creamy and all that stuff.
So you don't like ice cream?
I like ice cream when it comes out of the machine, and I can see
whipped cream.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't, man.
When you're cooking a pile of food, or you're cooking turkey in a grill. Okay. I mean, we've had that before.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, the turkey in the grill. Remember that story? We're not gonna get into dropping any names, but last summer.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Saj, I love you, but I don't know what happened to that turkey.
Little Chris cooked a turkey that looked like it had salmonella in it.
It reminded me of a scary movie.
I'm all set.
scary movie when he what's his name?
I cooked the
Yeah.
turkey.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right. We got a comment from Hugo Brittle. What's up, Hugo?
Hey, Hugo. You're supposed to be at the training center like 3
Yeah,
weeks
I know.
ago. What
Hugo,
happened?
Hugo was MIA, missing in action.
All right.
But getting into some stuff right away that you catch Money in the Bank
I did catch some of it.
already. So
Yeah.
we're going to get into the results of that one for the people watching. And if you don't know, which is, rarity nowadays, Money in the Bank ladder match that feature Drew McIntyre, Andrade, Carmelo Hayes, the hometown boy, Chad Gable, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. Victorious Drew McIntyre in the men's Money in the Bank matchup there. You see the big, out of the whole match, I go back to that big bump from the top of the, not the ladder, but hanging from Chad Gable. I mean, he took a huge face bump there, and I've bumped in that ring, and it's not fun, so all kudos to him. You saw that?
I did see the bump, and when you learn how to bump, we really don't give a height restriction, but the idea is the same.
Yeah, it was.
But when they're 25 feet up, maybe?
Yeah, 20, 25, 30 feet. It's a long fall, and it's a hard canvas, and with multiple layers of that canvas that makes the ring even stiffer. Definitely kudos to him there. Hard-hitting matchup. I mean, me personally, I thought Jey Uso was going to end up with the briefcase, but, big swerve there. McIntyre getting the win in the men's Money in the Bank. Another match that I had called for Braun Breaker there, to be victorious over Sami Zayn. That was
Same
wrong.
way. I think everyone was wrong on that one. I don't know. It's hard. Once you take the genie out of the bottle, you can't put it back.
Yeah.
So I thought they were building him up really well. I thought he would be winning it. I think if he got the win, it would have done more for him than the win did for Sami.
Yeah. Most likely we'll have to see where they go with it and what's the future plan there. But Sami Zayn retained the WWE Intercontinental Championship over Braun Breaker there by pinfall. Another one of your favorites, another Money in the Bank ladder match that feature the women's of the WWE. And a newcomer, Tiffany, was victorious in that match.
That match was epic, man. They put on a good show.
That feature, Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyrie, Naomi, and Zoe Starks. And if you go back and watch Io and Zoe, a big fall that everybody talked about was that Michinoku driver from the top of the ladder there that looked like she got tombstone.
Yeah.
And the women's ladder match was crazy. And
So between the two matches, right? I didn't see the whole match. I saw clips of it.
yeah.
Right. Which match was a better match?
Well, if I break it down, a lot of the girls, like this Tiffany girl, she's over. People like her. I don't want to be biased because when it comes to the women's Money in the Bank match, there's some home ties to that. I'm not going to be specific, but,
All right.
there could be some producing that's related to home. The women's match was better.
All right.
And
I always ask that because some days, as most know, I'm not a huge fan of women wrestling, but I am a fan of women who have good wrestling matches.
well, yeah, I mean, it is.
So that's why I asked it. Based on what you saw or everything, which one was better?
For what
because
the women's Money in the Bank was, and the moments that were created in that match, including a big fall from Chelsea Green and all that stuff.
yeah, no, I saw clips from that. Gave her credit for that, man. That's you walked funny for a while after that.
That was badass, man. I enjoyed that
Definitely
match.
a great match, well put together.
Yeah.
Kudos to whoever helped put that one together. But yeah, definitely a great women's.
It's like your brown nose and.
I'm not brown nosing. I'm
no,
just
that's
you know.
good. No, it's.
And since we're in the subject of putting stuff together,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
if you
good.
want to put yourself together and become a professional wrestler, come visit us at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center in Woonsocket, Rhode Island on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And maybe one day you'll be
Well,
getting
you
produced.
could be produced on Wednesday too.
Yeah. Well, you could be produced Monday and Friday nights
Yes.
on another television show, in another program, in another company. Let's leave it at that. But going to the big main event matchup was scheduled for the Bloodline. Any individual member of the Bloodline to take on Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. And in the case was Solo Sikoa teaming up with Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, taking on the three individuals I just mentioned. And in the end, they were victorious over Cody, Randy,
Which,
and KO.
good for the
And
bloodline.
the story continues there with the Bloodline. There was some controversy there. I mean, fans, they took it to the internet because, you know, there was a Q mishap.
Hey, some days you literally gotta punch your own tag team partner
Well,
in the head
in the face to win, right?
Yeah.
First, you got a thumb KO in the bum.
Yeah,
He gimmick infringement.
yeah.
Steve Carino, he's thumb in the bum. Then that didn't work, so he punched his own brother in the face.
I'm sure in the years I punched you in the face when we were trying to attack
Well, I mean, yeah, but you know that was
happens.
that was great there. I guess for the person that didn't get punched in the face, but the
That's
Bloodline,
usually the fact.
the Bloodline victorious over Cody, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton in that big six-man tag there at Money in the Bank. But I saved the main attraction
Rightfully
for the end, even though it wasn't the main event.
Mm-hmm.
Damian Priest defended the title against Seth freaking Rollins in a great matchup. Those two guys, they have great chemistry and they have good matches. And you know, to the surprise of everyone, Drew McIntyre cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase, but in the process, we saw a moment that people are still talking about, and we'll get into all that and break it down. As McIntyre comes down to the ring, there was actual 3 count
In the ring, yeah.
in the ring as Damian Priest never kicked out, and the referee decided not to call him out,
Well,
not to count him
It
out.
looked like he was out of position too.
Yeah,
It looked like the referee. I haven't watched a video in the last couple of days, but I looked like the ref was like behind,
well,
so he didn't. It was a weird angle.
well.
But either way,
Either way, you know,
when the referee calls it, the referee calls it.
either way, you know, McIntyre comes out. He decides he's gonna cash in. He goes after Rollins, goes after Priest, and in the end, CM Punk comes out of nowhere, costing him again an opportunity at the World Championship, and Damian Priest getting the win and retaining his championship. Now, if you go back to the booking and the producing aspect of this match, because you know it's obvious that people know that you know the last 3 seconds are
Crucial.
business. Yeah, so you know we saw different things in the internet, different opinions. In your opinion, breaking this down, what do you think happened?
I'm thinking 2 things. One,
We got somebody calling out here. Hold on, this is live. I hear somebody calling.
I think they're saying, Danny. There's someone outside looking for Dan Badandi.
Yeah, they're calling. Somebody's like, "Damn, we got a
Got
cat.
some idiots in the park over there.
So I know you have fans all over the world, Danny, and that could have been an Indiana fan.
It could be a ghost. We're gonna get into
No,
that
no,
before
no,
we leave.
no.
We're gonna get into that.
yeah.
I had an experience today. I sent you
Today?
a photo. I sent you a photo.
Is that
and
the same experience I had on Monday?
No, I'm gonna.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay,
actually. I'll send Danny
All right,
the
so-
photo, but continue on. You're
All right,
too,
so I'm thinking, the referee always has the valid, 3 count. It looked like Priest didn't kick out, but Do you have the video of that? You bring that up?
Like, yeah.
Like a short version of it? Because if I'm not when I saw it, I'm seeing, I think the referee was behind Seth, so maybe he couldn't have seen a kick out if it did or did not happen. Am I right or wrong on that one?
It looked like that,
He was
but
slightly out of position.
we're gonna break it down, like I said.
But
give me your input on it, and
I got it right here.
all right, bring it up.
Money in the Bank got chaotic thanks to a major botch by Damian Priest. During the event, Seth Rollins delivered a Falcon Arrow to
Alright, tell me what
Priest
you
and
think.
pinned him. Although everyone anticipated a kickout, Priest remained down. The title should have changed hands, but the referee acted as if the kickout had occurred, creating immediate controversy over the outcome. In the press conference, Triple H acknowledged that Priest didn't kick out, but emphasized that the referee's decision is final. Money in the Bank got chaotic thanks to a
How was the referee's position?
the referee was positioned fine. He was looking at the shoulders. When he noticed that Priest didn't kick out, he kind of turned away into his count.
So yeah, no, he if I was Seth, I'd be pissed with the referee.
Well,
I almost thought he was on the take
there's many scenarios to
because
this.
if he's out, he's out. You know, and if a guy falls asleep, the guy's not kicking out for any reason. Referee 1, 2. You're not doing 1, 2. We're not saying any names, Rob.
There's
Frank.
There's many scenarios to this happening. One being, as you know, it is a television show and matches are put together a certain way. You miss a cue or a referee misses a call on the headset or whatever it was, miscommunication there. But I believe that Damian Priest was expecting that music to hit.
Oh, the music conspiracy. Okay,
Yes.
what, did Noah hit you up and give you that? Or?
No, the music, you could tell if you pay attention, right before that count was made, he's looking towards the entranceway. And, the music wasn't cued. There was nothing there. So at that point in time, your job is to kick out. You always have to be on the lookout, if something goes wrong, to cover that situation. In the same hand, if the referee knew what was going on, he should have just made the 3 count at this point. Because you can't pull a count if the back is down. If you go back and notice his facials,
There's a better video over there here.
you can see that he's looking right at the entrance. And he never kicked out. So, my opinion, we all know what happened after that. Drew came out, cashed in the Money in the Bank. Rollins could have captured the title. Mm-hmm. Punk was going to interfere. In this scenario that now we're going to see possibly CM Punk and Seth Rollins and McIntyre go at it. I would be more pissed if I just won my newly won title and I just lose it a couple seconds after because you interfere in my business.
Yep.
So regardless, it would have still gotten where it needed to get, and it would have definitely saved all this scenarios that happened for the worse. If Rollins would have just won the belt, and
that's. Well, let's put it this way. After the fact now, Drew got suspended again. Mm-hmm. It's like the 3rd time he's suspended.
Story continues. He's suspended. So
3rd time suspended. This time it's indefinitely.
Well,
so it looks like, didn't he say since he's not working here, he has to go work somewhere else?
Oh, you just mentioned that in the car.
Yeah.
Just mentioned that, what if he shows up in TNA, which I believe would be good.
Yeah, no, they
got a working relationship there.
I'm glad it happened because I think it gave new life to TNA.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they probably got some new fans from it that didn't even know they existed.
Yeah.
With living in the WWE bubble, so I think TNA is getting a great rub from it. The storylines and the feuds, they're crossing over.
Yeah.
So they've been doing it with NXT with TNA.
Yeah.
Why not do WWE and TNA? I mean, you look at WWE has nothing to gain. Right.
Well, yeah. If anything, TNA is getting the exposure from being in the WWE program.
And maybe that is that separate section that WWE needs that is not under their control. Let the guys, some guys, go wrestle there for a while. Literally, learn a new hold.
When you mentioned
and
that,
then come back. So
when you mentioned that, I said, yeah, that would be great if McIntyre shows up. And the way that I would book it, I would put him in that heavyweight championship scenario for the TNA World Belt.
Yep.
And, build up a little program there. And eventually, they're going to have that match. And guess who shows up and screws McIntyre once again? This is a program that could be run all the way to Mania in April. He shows up, CM Punk shows up at TNA and screws him out of that title opportunity. Then now you got some real heat that's going to go even further than what you had before and keep the storyline interested, and now you have more different options to go to.
The thing I like about that, it breaks down the unpredictability of wrestling. Like, I remember as a kid, you didn't have the internet. Any magazine that you read was like 3 or 4 months behind. That it just gives some suspense that you may want to watch TNA because you don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You may watch NXT because you don't know what's going to happen. It makes you want to watch instead of just watching it because it's on.
Yeah, it's kind of like Nitro when you didn't know who was going to show up. As we saw in the past, Lex Luger just showing up out of nowhere. The NWO when it started with Kevin Nash and Hall just showing up out of nowhere. It gave that disbelief on what can happen and all that.
No, so. I like the unpredictability. I like the fact that some guys in TNA who maybe would not get a look from WWE for any reason, if it was a long contract, fell off the radar. Now that there's new guys getting looked at, and gals. I mean, look at
Jordan Grace.
Doing phenomenal. So that part I like it. And I wonder if they did that because of AEW.
Maybe. Have you watched Joe Hendry?
I've seen the name. I've seen his promos, seen some of his matches, but I haven't seen the whole.
Way to make the Bo Leave gimmick go over, huh?
Yeah.
Guy was. You've heard some of his story?
Tell me.
He's a musician and he used to make music and he took the. It's kind of like the Bo Dallas gimmick, the Bo Leave gimmick, but he added the catchy music that he was already making.
Okay.
Added it to his character, and it got over with the people, and he just kept on going with that, and is at the point where he is now, which is,
good.
Showing up in, you're over when you show up to the competitions program and people are singing your song, and, so.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I thought that was good.
He's going to be a big one there. We'll have to see what happens when his contract is up in TNA.
Well, and I saw something too with was it Josh Alexander? He said, "Hey, Josh Alexander's contract's coming up next year. WWE, could be looking into him."
Yeah,
and it does kind of make interesting scenario because, obviously TNA is a smaller company, smaller salaries, small payouts, what they're doing. So it'd be interesting how that reflects between the two.
Mm-hmm.
WWE would be in there, almost doing. Let's say openly of what WWE did with ECW, and they're being open about it.
Ultimately, because back in those days they were kind of closed in. We obviously saw some type of working relationship there, but it was like secretly between Paul and Vince. He was funding a lot of this money that was going around,
and people didn't know it. Now this is blatantly they have a blatant work relationship. So it'd be interesting to find out.
Yep, definitely interesting times for pro wrestling, and if I'm not mistaken, did Motor City Machine Guns got signed to the WWE?
Well, according to the people that I talked to, sound familiar, Brandon?
Oh,
all right. My sources tell me that they said yes.
Oh.
And I only say that because I was busting Brandon's balls yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Because I saw something on that too, and I thought a while ago they got signed supposedly from AEW. So I was surprised, with that.
Yeah.
Good for them if that's the case.
Well, that can lead to some good matches if they're wrestling like DIY and.
Well, the thing when I saw that, and I'm like, if that's true, hopefully the only thing they haven't really focused on yet
It's the tag team division.
Tag team division.
Yeah.
So I mean, obviously, they have the cruiserweight division. It's pretty well, doing the speed stuff. Heavyweight division's fine. Women's division starting to get off really strong.
Yeah.
Now maybe they can get the tag division going.
Tag division going. I would like to see at
Yep.
some point when their contract is over, I would like to see FDR come back to the WWE and
Maybe
have some of those matches.
Yeah, what they signed like a 4 or 5 year deal.
Yeah.
So if they come back, I mean, it's not like when they had their podcast. I think when they signed, they thought this would be their last national contract, and then they do the Indies and then say bye.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think
after the next 4
there's
years.
a run there still
no,
that's unfinished for those guys because they did have. If you go back and watch some of the early NXT pay-per-views, they had some great matches, and including when Chad Gable and Jason Jordan were teaming up. If you go back and watch some of those matches they had with those guys, they were phenomenal tag team matches. The stuff that you don't see anymore nowadays.
No, and that's the first thing I thought when I saw that being signed. Let's rebuild tag teams.
Yeah. And even I forgot those guys, the Bod Billings. You remember that tag team there? Yeah, they had some great matches with those guys too.
So we're not saying that Triple H listens to our podcast, but if you all listen to our podcast, let's bring back tag team wrestling.
Bring
like
back
a solid
tag team
at a
wrestling.
national level.
Yes.
Because it seems like when it goes up here, it filters down
It's
here.
a lost art. I mean,
so I'd like to see the art form come back.
Well, speaking of coming back, we're going to get into some plugs right now because we are coming back to the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center and Arena in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, 126 Main Street on July 20th next week.
Next Saturday night.
We're back home, 7:07 p.m. bell time. And there you see the poster. Big matchup already been signed for the Showcase Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships as the notorious Rambo Godfrey, the heavyweight champion, and Osiris will challenge Puerto Rico's Most Wanted for the SPW Tag Team titles. Danny Cabral will defend the Sons of Liberty Championship in an open challenge and a big YouTube World Title match between the new champion, Brother Moon Revan, taking on the number one contender, Jay Evans.
The not so happy Jay Evans.
Yep. The complaint department is closed. It's time to put up or shut up, and that happens next week.
I mean, he has legitimately a gripe. And next week, will we announce the new rules of what we've been modified?
Yeah.
So we've had a couple meetings on that, and some people are questioning how we're doing it and why we're doing it. Some for the good, some for the bad. And next week on the podcast, we will update, figure out how the new rules for the YouTube title will be going on in the shows to come.
So there you have it. Don't miss out. Next week, next Saturday night in Woonsocket, Saturday night's main event returns to the Showcase Pro Wrestling Arena in Woonsocket. Then we move on to the month of August. What do we have? What's the first shot we got in the month of August?
Well, we actually in the training center, and I keep screwing up the date, so I'm going to bring it up on the phone right here. So it's going to be Saturday night, the 10th.
Saturday night, August 10th, at the Showcase Pro Wrestling Training Center and Arena. We might see some new champions. Who knows? You just have to be there next week, and then we'll be back in
I'm sure
August.
Rambo would like to have the double belts again.
I'm not talking about Rambo. I'm talking about the YouTube championship.
Oh, okay.
See how you had to jump the
No, that's the only one I thought about.
See how you have to selfish, Danny. See,
because
just because he doesn't have a belt, I have to lose mine. See, unbelievable.
you're talking that Danny doesn't know what a belt looks like.
August
Oh,
10th.
I'm sorry, Danny. Danny, that should be your title shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
His title
See,
shot.
now you got them all going. I'm
His title
upset.
shot's coming up when
There's
we
some
return.
belts right there.
Yeah, when we return to
Taunton.
Taunton, he's
All
gonna
right,
get
all
his
right.
title shot. And
Like September.
well,
Oh, that's
you know, we're taking on all comers. Things happen. People want shots.
Well, you ain't gonna blame that for me.
We have to
All right.
go one by one.
I heard that's because of the management. That's what I heard.
Man,
Well, he's part
You
of
know-
he's part of management, so I don't blame it if
why
it's,
don't you go to West Newbury and complain to Cena?
if
Okay?
it's questionable. I'm not
No.
saying, I'm not saying any names,
Blame Cena,
but
but don't
yeah.
blame me.
I think I've seen his too many whoopie pies. I think he's been eating.
Yeah,
too
he's
much.
probably
Legitimately, I only had 2.
he's probably having the whoopie pies.
I only had 2 at Royal Crown. He had them. I paid full price for them.
See, that's a good segue
Yeah.
because the next event is August 16 as Royal Crown Wrestling returns to the American Legion Post 45 in Medford, Massachusetts. The big Royal Rumble, which the winner will be featured in the October event, taking on the TNA, speaking of TNA, multimedia champion AJ Francis. So the winner of that Rumble will get a shot at that title if Francis still manages to hold on to it.
It's a long way.
You know, that's a long way to go, but we've been seeing what he's been doing. He's, you know, he's taking on all comers. He's been going at it, and he's been unstoppable when it comes to being the media champion there in TNA Wrestling. That happens August 16th, American Legion Post 45, Medford, Massachusetts. That's a 7:30 p.m. bell time. A whole lot of talent, women's talent coming in from around the country. And a big matchup already has been signed as Colton Charles will take on the returning Retro Anthony Green. Makes his RCW debut August 16th in Medford, Mass. Get your tickets, RoyalCrownWrestling.com, on all social media, Royal Crown Wrestling, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Following night, August 17th, we return to the Franklin Elks Lodge in Franklin, Massachusetts. Danny's all over the place. I'm seeing stuff flashing in the screen.
Oh yeah, you forgot the powerhouse on August 16th.
Franklin, we're still in our
Oh,
showcase in
yeah, my
Franklin. This is live, folks. You know, shit happens. August 17, we're back in Franklin at the Elks Lodge, 1077 Pond Street in Franklin, Mass. That's 7:07 bell time on Saturday night. Matches are coming up soon. It's going to be a big one. Usually, we go there, we sell out.
Yep.
Tickets are on sale now. All tickets on sale now at ShowcaseProWrestling.com. Follow us on all our socials at SP Wrestling for all upcoming events there. Is that going to be for... you have a charity that we're doing stuff with, working with? Or?
I'm trying. Normally, we do something with the veterans. I reached out to a couple organizations trying to figure out how we're doing it, but if not, normally the Elks would be donating. Usually they do Veterans for Oil.
Yeah.
If some reason, a couple of organizations that we reached out to, if they don't come aboard because of the summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, well, now some good stuff in the fall. We're getting some
Well,
organizations. that work
summertime,
on it.
there's AC, there's food, there's a bar there. There's a great time, a great venue. So don't let... If you're hot outside, come indoors because it's going to be hot inside with the action, not the climate.
Nope.
So, August 17th in Franklin at the Elks Lodge, 7:07 p.m. bell time. Now we could go, we'll skip September, Danny, for no odd reason because we're not getting into that yet, but we are getting into October 12th as Powerhouse Wrestling returns to the Sturbridge Host Center in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, center at the hotel, Sturbridge, Mass, as Powerhouse Wrestling presents Halloween Bash, and one of the main matches already signed for that card as the Masterpiece, Chris Masters, will take on an old rival, the returning Mr. Kennedy, Ken Anderson, in a big matchup. Also already signed. You have the match cards there, Danny?
Yep.
An intergender championship match as the Powerhouse Wrestling Women's Champion Evie De La Rosa will take on James Ellsworth, making his Powerhouse Wrestling debut, defending the intergender championship
That
belt.
may be his first debut in his last match.
It might be. I don't know.
Ivy,
Ivy's on a roll, man.
She
She
is,
is
she
still
is.
the IWA Puerto Rico Women's
you know
Champion.
what I like about Ivy? She wrestles. And she doesn't wrestle like a woman. She wrestles.
She just wrestles. She's a wrestler.
As a top
Yes.
professional wrestler. So
James
Ellsworth,
Ellsworth, man, you're gonna be in for a run for your money that day.
No, you
better have both
you
hands.
You better just run with your money.
You better.
Because if she catches you, yeah.
That's gonna be a big one there, and also the big. It's the month of the Rumbles. I don't know, big Royal Rumble style match for the main event, as the winner of the Battle Royal will take on former TNA World Champion, the Cowboy James Storm, making his return to the New England area. So the winner of that Battle Royal will take on James Storm for the new Powerhouse Wrestling Heavyweight Championship that night. And it all happens October 12th, which is a Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. bell time, at the Sturbridge Hotel Center in Sturbridge. Tickets on sale at eventbrite.com. QR code is on the link there on the poster on the screen. Yeah, Danny's got the right one now. He's on a roll now. Get your tickets, powerhousewrestlingNE.com, and all social media, Powerhouse Wrestling NE, Powerhouse Wrestling Network on YouTube. What do you got?
You missed one. This Sunday.
Oh,
Danny,
we're going
bring it
in.
up. Bring it up.
We're going into that, man. We're going into
Because
that.
where in the world is Joe Davis?
You just love that, huh?
Well, it's a good segment, and Joe graciously texts me 50 times a week to tell me about it, which on his part is really good,
It's
effective
really
marketing.
good promote. Yes.
Yes. So this Sunday night, bell time, 7 p.m.
Yep. At the Comedy Connection in East Providence, Rhode Island. Our boy, the real deal, Joel Davis, will be on stage making people laugh, throwing some jokes. Hopefully some of the guys will be on hand. Danny says he's going to be on hand. Joel, he's making a promise.
Yep.
He's making a promise. This guy already promised.
I did, Joel.
He's going to be
almost
in the
cleared
house.
everything for the whole day, and this time I think I can actually make it.
Yes,
Let's see what
he's going to be in the house. We'll be in the house. So get your tickets at the Comedy Connection Sunday night for some laughs. You got to laugh.
Yep.
You know, life is about having laughter. in
Oh,
life.
speaking of laugh, why don't you go to your story?
Ghost stories?
Yeah.
Well,
Wait. Let's find out first. Danny, did you book it yet?
Did what?
Danny's lost. He's still on
Jeremy.
his trainer.
Oh, yeah, he said he'd get back to us.
Oh, you're killing me, kid.
I know he's
Jeremy,
busy.
you're killing him, kid.
I know he's a busy guy, but
So, you know, if you want to go and don't show it yet, but go in your inbox. I just sent you a
Alright,
picture.
alright.
See if you got it. So earlier today, as you know, one of our trainees
Yeah.
left some items at the school. So I went up there, you know, to open up the school. So he
And
could
that was very nice. That was very nice of you.
he could retrieve his items. So, you know, I said, I'm already at the school, so, you know, I'll get a workout in. And I stood and I worked out for about an hour. And I took a sarcastic photo pointing at the entranceway
You did, and
for
you
you.
sent it to me.
And I said, I'm wrestling with ghosts.
Yes.
And then I sent the picture to someone else, and they pointed out the chairs.
What do you mean?
They pointed out the chairs to me, you know, the reflection of the lights in the chairs.
I didn't see that.
And, well, you have to zoom in the
All right,
picture.
all right.
Someone else zoomed in the picture, but it's on the screen right
Okay,
now.
well, let them zoom
Pull it up on the screen, Danny.
there it is.
It's on the screen.
There it is.
So,
Looks like a person with a white shirt.
Whoa. Where am I?
well, it just sarcastically looks like I'm pointing at the curtain, but I didn't notice the facial features
Of the light?
of the light in that chair.
Yeah, the nose.
Yep, the nose and the mouth, and I said, "Yep, it's time to go." And I got goosebumps right now, but yep, I shut my lights off and I speed walked out, out of the building. And I don't know, is it on? Can the people see it?
No, so you
I
know what I
mean,
think it is?
leave was your comment. I mean, this
All
has
right,
been
so
going
now-
on for a while.
I think, all right. Well, I think your ghost stories are starting to freak yourself out.
It's not.
Because you did that to me, I think it was
It is
Monday
not.
night?
It is not.
So
freaking
Monday
myself.
night, all right. So Monday night, you asked Brian to go downstairs to grab a wiper board, which he did.
Yeah, and he
Right.
shut the lights off.
Holy shut the lights off.
No, I wasn't
And every
supposed to.
time I leave, I always check out, make
You
sure
know,
the
I
fans,
babysit guys when I send them to do stuff. The lights were off.
right? And I always check, make sure the fans were unplugged. As
Yeah.
you walk to the entranceway, and the light was on. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, kid, right?
Yeah.
So I walk down. I'm ready because when you walk down the stairs, there's two switches. There's one for the main downstairs, and there's one for like the hall. So I go. You got to walk all the way down, and right when I hit it, it sounded like, I'm not sure what it was. And I thought it was you guys outside screwing with me.
I am telling you.
So like a 10-year-old kid,
Yeah.
I ran up the stairs. Because it startled me, right?
Hey, at least I pace walked.
Yeah.
You know, I pace walked
yeah,
today.
yeah.
I purposely opened the doors like we've been doing because
Yeah.
it's hot. So
Yeah.
I left the doors open and
Right.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then all of a sudden, I'm running around taking bumps or whatever
Yeah.
and hitting the ropes. And I get a text message back. I thought it was you, but
Yeah.
it was the other person I had sent the picture to. I zoomed it in and circled
Yeah.
it. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Practice is over. You know, we definitely need Jeremy to get with the program.
We've been there, I think, for 13 years, right?
The place has always been creepy.
No,
when
no,
you're
but
there by yourself, you
but
get that
it's
eerie
old.
feeling.
It's old. I never really had a problem. Never really thought of it. Never really spent a lot of time downstairs.
Yeah.
But now, since you told me this story, a while
Well,
ago,
it's been going on
But
with
now,
me.
now I keep thinking about it.
Well, with me, it's been going on since COVID. Because
Right.
as you know, I used to go down there and train by myself
Yeah.
during the COVID time. And one day I'm in there by myself, and I'm running around again, doing some stuff, hitting the crash pads and all that. And I hear this raking sound coming from the downstairs of the school. I'm like paying no attention to it. I think it's our neighbors. So then when I don't pay attention, it gets louder.
Yeah,
So now louder to the point that I stop
yeah.
what I'm doing because I want to hear. And it keeps... I'm like, what the... So I stop, turn the light on,
Yeah.
like walk downstairs. I'm like looking around to see if there's something going on.
Yeah.
Nothing. So I said, all right, whatever. Maybe it's somebody.
Yeah.
Shut the lights off, go back. I start my thing again. Maybe a minute later. Louder.
Yeah.
And now it's deafening sound. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, not. And it went all throughout me going out the door and all that. The sound was loud. And it was coming from downstairs.
No, because I know some.
And I'm not I shaved.
All right, yeah. No, because I know some days you can hear from
Yeah.
the gym next
Yeah,
door.
no,
You
that's
can
what-
hear some of the weights,
This definitely wasn't from the gym.
right,
This
all right.
was like grabbing a metal rake
Yeah.
to rake leaves and raking the cement floor downstairs. And it got really loud. And I was like, yep, session ended again. I need to get the fuck out of here.
All right. So that's an updated ghost story. So we're sending an SOS. What an SOP? Save our Puerto Rican
Well,
from ghosts.
how about an outpatient alert?
Yeah.
Outpatient alert.
Yes.
Outpatient needed in the building, I guess.
So I think what we should do, I think we should have Dan Badani stay there one night all by himself. Give us an update, and then we'll set up a time with Jeremy. How's that?
So
That'd be
yeah,
interesting.
that'd be great. That'd be good. So we have a couple questions. Go to the comments there, Daniel. See what we got.
Daniel Alves wants to know if there's any AC in the building yet.
We do have an AZ in the building, cause the other
Who is that? That sounds familiar.
AC.
Hey, kid, you haven't earned the AC yet.
Yeah, haven't heard the fans yet.
Hugo asked the same thing too.
Yeah, no, Hugo.
Hugo,
you
you were supposed to be here 5 weeks ago.
So,
you
Hugo-
and actually, we were supposed to have an AC back in the building. About the same time, we're supposed to have a Brito back in the building.
Well, Hugo says he needs to lose 20 pounds because you're gonna call him. What did he say? I saw the message. He said he don't want you to call him a pillow.
Pillow?
Yeah, but
Oh, well.
it's part of the program. We're gonna make you lose weight.
Yeah, kid,
We're
I
doing
think-
some drills.
Yeah, you could be looking like more like a giant comforter now instead of just a pillow. But no, Hugo, you know the drill.
Yeah,
You're
just
never
get
going
down-
to be
just
in
get
good
down
wrestling
there.
shape. Just get down there. And we had a training that started. When did he start? We started about 90 days ago.
Yeah,
And he's down. How much was he down?
like 20 pounds.
I think it was 27 pounds.
No, he's up to 27 now.
Yeah, yeah. No, and it's funny. It's like I didn't notice it until I was walking up the street and I saw a side profile of him, and I'm like, "Kid, how much did you lose?" And he's like, "Well, thanks for asking." And then that time it was 15.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
Hugo, just start coming down.
Yeah.
Let's start. Don't worry about that extra, 37 pounds you're carrying.
All right. Any other comments? I can't see.
Bryant Starr versus Don Vega somewhere somehow.
Oh, we'll get that out. Brian Starr's joining us.
All right, now maybe we can have Brian. You're welcome to be on the guest anytime coming down.
Yeah, we gotta have Brian Starr on the podcast here coming up soon.
But I kind of like that match.
He's a trainee of Johnny Rod's, so I'm sure he has some interesting stories of coming up, getting trained by Johnny, and he also trained with Tommy Dreamer. So yeah, we definitely have to have Brian on the show. And yeah, we definitely have to have Puerto Rican versus Puerto Rican. You just loved that, huh?
I like the match.
You just loved that. What
do you want to do? Like all Puerto Rican stipulations?
I mean, it is what it is.
The loser has to put someone else's flag up. Maybe we'll put like a flip flop on a pole match. Or
chancleta on a pole match. Get it right.
We'll call. Oh my God, what's his name? Is that the stuff that he makes?
What is that?
I'm blanking. He's former heavyweight champion. Oh my! He makes the stuff for Christmas.
Oh, Coquito.
Yes.
Yeah, Coquito. You're talking about Noriega.
Yes.
Yeah.
Noriega,
I thought. Shout out to my boy Noriega.
He has the greatest smile. You know that.
He's over there.
Anytime he's on social media,
in Chicago, he's got a TikTok.
Smile. Yes.
Go check him out, Noriega, on TikTok. He goes to different places now. He goes and he does food videos and different videos, and he's a great guy, good guy.
I always liked his laugh.
Yeah.
But I love the smile.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't paid as much attention to your smile, Daniel, as Blackheart.
Yeah, watch it. Now watch his video. It's good.
Definitely got love for him. The real deal, Joe Davis. Says, do you brothers remember Bobo Brazil Jr., the guy that started up training back in the day? Then you guys took over training for his debut. Do you know Bobo Brazil Jr.?
I think he's talking about
It rings a bell.
I think he's talking about Edmund. Wasn't that Edmund? Is this back in the UCW days?
Maybe it could be a version of. It could be a version of. I forget his name.
Bear?
No. He was a champion with Buck Nasty. Butler.
I remember. Joel, if you have a picture, send it over. We'll see. Tell us the story. I can remember, but I can't remember the whole thing.
So, the Bobo Brazil in question.
Yeah.
We don't know. It's been a long time, Joe. Come on.
Because some days, like Hot Bowl kind of looked like Bobo Brazil Jr.
Real name was Mike, back in Central Falls. It rings a bell to me, the whole Bobo Brazil thing. I just can't picture who it is.
Yeah, because that was probably...
That's like Central Falls, that's probably like Barton Street Community Center he's talking about.
Could have been. So that would have been UCW or IIW?
Yeah. It was
so Danny, why don't you know that? That was your stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Danny's still in the train ride.
He said...
I'm still recovering from this.
So Bobo Brazil Jr. Now, I'm thinking, is that someone that Joe nicknamed?
Yeah.
Bobo?
Yeah, he definitely... Yeah. Joe definitely, I gave this kid a
that's
nickname.
something I would do when I do it to people too, but I can't picture the kid.
If I seen his face, I'd know.
Yeah. Same here, Joe. If you find a picture of this Bobo Brazil Jr.
Tell us more details.
Send it over our way. And I do want to hear the story that you said you had for us for Sunday.
Yes.
You said you might include that in your set.
Yep. We may invite the person without telling them about the story.
Yes, we have to definitely probably invite the person.
Without them knowing about the story.
Yes, indeed. He says, thank you. Years ago, I trained a few guys.
Wait. I think Joel came down. He was training a kid. I think when Joel was going to start training kids. That means he came to the warehouse in Lincoln with the kid.
So he's talking about the bread factory.
No, I think
the
other place. Remember when we were
the U-Haul place?
No, down the road in Lincoln.
Oh, behind that warehouse where we
Yeah,
used to get
'cause I think-
high on lacquer thinner because
Yes.
the paint thing
Because
that
I
was
think
going
Joe
on.
brought a kid down there because Joe's going to start training people.
Yeah.
Right? Ask him if that's where it was. He's talking about he brought him to the place in Lincoln that smelled like paint thinner.
Yeah. Is that the place, Joe? Give us a yes. A
We're
thumbs
getting
up,
closer.
or- Yeah, it has to be that one.
Yeah. All right. So now we just went back to what 2009. So we went back like 17 years. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You know, speaking of this brought me into a segue.
It did.
And it just it makes me believe that Blackheart's the bad luck charm over here. Because when we was in that building in Central Falls,
Oh, that was scary.
that place had
Oh.
ghosts.
No, that had something.
That place had
That had
it's,
yeah.
it's him all along.
No,
Danny.
no.
They're following him around.
That place had something.
Jeez, I just remembered.
Did you ever stay up there by yourself?
Yeah, it was creepy as shit.
It was, because I remember when Onyx had the big heater?
I remember when Onyx hid behind the bins or whatever it were, lockers, and
Yeah.
he scared the shit out of you.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, you jump. You're like, you son of a bitch.
Well, no, I could see that, but hey, if I did, it would be funny, but...
Yeah, you were like, my visual was funny.
Hey, funny's funny.
It was funny, but then see, I always look out for you, Chris Black.
Oh, thank you.
Because then Onyx, I don't know if you remember this back in the Moose Lodge when Onyx made his return to the ring.
I think the Moose Lodge?
And I gave him a pair of tights that I had
I
that
think-
been sitting around for 10 years, and I said, be ginger with them because the material could be a little
Yeah.
questionable.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I think he was wrestling the Widowmaker, Eric
Yes,
Shred.
Yeah.
And Eric grabbed his tights, and Onyx Pecker came up. And there was a lady in the audience that enjoyed it. She's like, woo, wave it around. I'm like, well, sad to say that Onyx came back that night, and he retired that same
It was
night.
funny. I was going to text Onyx today for signatures.
Oh.
I think he lives...
I haven't seen Onyx in years, man.
I run into Onyx occasionally at UFIT.
Oh, you still see him?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in years. I don't know what happened, but yeah, I do remember the night that he was pissed at me because he thought I gave him faulty tights. I'm like, dude, those been in my closet for like 10 years. I told you to
That's
be
funny.
ginger with them. Eric pulled it.
Uh,
Ding Dong was hanging out all over the place. So, yeah, that was a great moment for those ladies that were in the Moose Lodge in Attleboro. But yeah, who's this, Toe? What's the ghost story about Central Falls? The Central Falls. This one wants to know the ghost story for Central
not
Falls.
really. No,
It's not really a ghost story.
No,
It's just the building was
I
creepy. You would hear the same thing. You would hear noises and like people walk. Like times I wasn't there with Onyx before we heard steps.
Yeah.
There was no one there but us. It was just a creepy building and
Well,
all.
'cause I remember there, like, some nights I would open up, and this is when we first started,
Yeah,
and I remember me and Onyx were rotating nights,
yeah,
and we had the big, remember the gas heater?
yes,
And you had that little door you had to open,
yeah,
right? And I remember, and the lights were terrible up there.
Yeah,
So
it was-
I would be with the blower going, the door open,
yeah,
you know, and you'd be looking at the clock, oh, another 45 minutes, because you know,
yeah.
we were starting to run training down there, and you
Yeah.
didn't know people would come. But yeah, that was
It
definitely
was
a
definitely
creepy.
a creepy building to
Yeah.
get into. You had to go through these long hallways and up the stairs and all that, and it was creepy as shit.
No, but you know, it's like I think that was the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, that's literally how.
That's an old school wrestling school building. It looks like the
Yeah.
place you're gonna go get murder at.
Yeah.
Because wrestling was so secluded and it was kind of like in the hideout. You know, back in the
Oh,
day,
definitely
they
it
didn't
was.
want people to know where you would train and
Yeah.
who was in there. So definitely would have fit the bill back in like the 70s and 80s and early 90s. You know, questionable, creepy buildings. Plus the rent was cheap on those, so. They were questionable
Well, you figure
factory buildings with no heat.
Yeah.
And the bathroom didn't have any water, and you couldn't take a deuce in those bathrooms.
Well, you get me. That was. I remember when that started. That was all by accident. Onyx had the ring outside. He wanted.
Well, yeah, I
he wanted to have
mean,
it
we
inside.
picked up that ring, and I forgot who the original owner of that ring was, but it was somebody that was like that 16-footer was used by a lot of big shows up in the tri-state area, and a lot of big names wrestled in that ring. And the guy that ran that company had a well-known company. I just don't remember offhand, but that used to be a high ring, full-size ring. I went with Onyx to upstate New York to pick that up. And when he came back, I was training him to get back in the ring in his house, in his backyard. And then he was like nervous about the neighbors. Neighbors were hearing. So we were training out there for like 2 months. And then he cut it. Then after he cut, Onyx used to change like this. Like one day he wanted to do one thing, another day he had another vision of doing something else. So he wanted to go back into car detailing business. And around that same time that he had the ring in that building, I introduced you guys. And rest is history. And the tights were never to be found again. He was pissed. He's like, "Oh, you sabotaged me." I'm like, I gave you tights. You just didn't have to tug on them or pull on them. You would have been fine. I mean, and you know, at least the ladies like this, so you know, I would have been happy.
So tip to it, always wear something underneath your tights.
Oh, you know, sometimes you don't.
Tip number 2, don't buy tights from Don Vega. That's been in his closet for 10 years.
Well,
under 10 years, buy them. Over? No.
He didn't even buy them. I let him use them.
Do you want him to collect them?
No, I'm all set. I mean, he had his nuts in there.
Onyx, can you Venmo him money, please?
No, I'm all set. I'm good. I'm good with the money. But, yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting all over the place kind of week here today. You have anything else that you want to get out? Or?
No, we'll have some news announcements coming up, some live guests we're bringing. We do have some guests coming up in the fall. That's going to be good.
Do we have some train, plane, and automobile stories that we have in the future, Danny? Or?
Yeah, I'm supposed to go back there, but I told them, "Hey, listen, I want to fly both ways, so they're going to fly me out." But it was great flying home.
We should reenact the movie.
Plane, trains, and automobiles.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You should take the plane, then take the train, and then rent a car.
Yeah. Can you have a GoPro
Yeah,
with you?
yeah.
Just go live. We do a GoFundMe.
Oh, jeez.
I'm stuck on the train, man.
I'm stuck on the train now. Nowhere to
Crazy
go.
stuff, man.
Definitely will make for interesting content there. No other comments there before we wrap it up tonight?
Nope.
All right.
How's the new trainees, Daniel Alves wants to know?
They're actually doing pretty good. As always, they have to listen more.
Yeah. There's a lot of them going now, so.
Yeah, listening and focus. You know? And as always, trust the process.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we have a good array of young talent.
Is it just like trust the science?
No, because you can believe in Don Vega and Chris Blackheart and Coach Ken.
Yes.
The science is a little bit different.
Believe.
You gotta believe in all three of us.
You gotta believe.
So yeah, now we're
in the process.
You know, and majority of the guys and gals, they come down there Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. So they're putting in the work and it shows. We always tell people, you necessarily can't see the results looking back, tomorrow or last week, but when you look at it, by the quarter or by the month, you see the progress. So yeah, no, they are doing good, and like everything else, you have good days and bad days, but no matter what, you come back the following day.
I don't know what you're talking about, kid. You gotta work on the fly when you come on this show.
You do?
And you're not teaching me.
Let me check my notes.
You gotta work. There is no notes, but on that note, we're out of here for this week. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Just like every other Thursday, we'll be back here next week. Hopefully, we'll have a guest next week, and it won't be a ghost. But for now, that's all.
Could be.
Yeah, well, we could bring the chair, the red chair, and put the lights to it.
Maybe we have to do that, Danny. We may have to transport ourselves to the training center at night.
Yeah.
We may have to do this without Jeremy.
We might have to have a sleepover and wait for Jay Hollywood to be around because
he's
scared as shit at ghosts
and
all that stuff. So I enjoy laughing at other people that are scared as shit. So it'll be definitely a fun time. Before we go, Alice Lopez, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. We're about to wrap things up for this week. This has been the boss, Chris Blackheart. Daniel behind the scenes. I am Don Vega. We'll catch you down the road in the Showcase Pod.